Hey, my name's Dan. Welcome to my shop. And right now I've finished through step 12 on the de Havilland Beaver. And this is what I have to show for it. This is the stabilizer. And this was a great, this is about 2 hours of work right here, which is actually pretty fast. And the reason it's going so fast is because everything's pretty well cut out. I mean, the laser cutting on everything has made this super easy. Everybody is ready to go. All the parts are just basically falling out. Let me show you this. Here's an example of it here. This plate here is this is a heavy plywood plate, so it's got like a piece of firewall, but yeah, look at, I was telling you, they just fall out. Yeah, look at that. They're all just coming loose and falling out. The laser cutting is so nice on this one. And the other thing that's really nice about it is the parts come out and everything, but every single one of them, I don't know if you can see it, but every single one of them has a description of what that is. And that is so helpful because a lot of the time you kind of get your stuff all cut out and you don't know what is what. And the other thing is he has a lot of things that say, okay, you may need to make sure that the bottom skin goes on first and the lettering will be facing up into the stabilizer. So that was inside this. And, it's just really cool to have all that lettering and everything. I'm just kind of disappointed this kit is no longer available. So, if you could find one out there, nab it up if you can. But anyways, I've got some other clips here that I'll show you. This of the stabilizer going together. And the cool part about the stabilizer is he's got a whole bunch of ribs that are running through it. And the ribs are... It would be really hard to mess it up the way that things are set because the ribs have different size depending on how big of the rib, because this is a single taper. So the ribs have different sizes as they go up toward the cord center. And here's the, let's see here, right here is the biggest one. So it'd be really difficult to take this big one and actually fit it. You'd be able to see it in the other shots I'm going to show you here, how it would be very difficult to put one on the wrong side and screw it up and get it glued in. But this thing went together really nicely. Having these little cuts back in there made it so it was very easy to line them up. Most times when you're doing ribs on like a stabilizer or a wing or something, you have to line it up on top of the plan. So far, none of this kit has been put together using the plan as the base, and I think it's going to continue that way. I think it does have a full set of plans in it to kind of describe you and give you the lay of the land, but as far as assembling goes, everything has been done pretty much right on the flat surface. Oh, and that's another thing I wanted to talk about too. This here is a new board that I put on. Let me back up even further. When I moved into this shop originally, before I moved into this shop, I had a glass top table. And I remember I pointed that out when I talked about my workbench originally. And I realized that, you know what, when I moved it, first of all, that glass top was super heavy. And it was kind of making me a little bit nervous because I was dropping things. I'd be working on a plane, like this, and I'd drop a wrench. And that glass was tempered glass. It was that kind of stuff that if it were to break, it would turn into a million little cubes of glass. So I didn't want to have to deal with that anymore. And I wasn't using, the tabletop was nice for cleaning purposes. It was really nice because you could scrape any glue or paint off of it with a razor blade very easily. But it just practicality-wise wasn't working out for me. So what I did was I put this top on here. This is a piece of gypsum and a piece of drywall. And it's been perfectly fit. That was the other thing about that glass table is it did not fit this at all. It was too wide that way, and it was about 1.5 feet short on the length. So wasn't great. But anyways, moving on, I went ahead and got a piece of gypsum and make that to perfect fit of the table. And it's working out okay. It's not as easy to clean and stuff like that, but it's a nice surface to have down here. It's super cheap for when it gets dinged up to the point where I want to just go get another one. I think this one here probably cost me about, I think it was like 15 bucks. So it's not a big expense to just completely resurface your bench top in moments. But anyways, and then this is what they call a self-healing mat. You can find these, I've been using these for years actually. I'll show you the one I used to use. Here it is. Look at that. That one has seen some action. But with this bigger table, I don't want to be carving, because I know a lot of these parts you had to free them up using an X-Acto knife, and you got to push through it. And I really don't want to ding up the table prematurely. So I went ahead and bought one of these. This is a 24 by 36 inch self-healing mat. These are fantastic because you can drag a razor blade across it and you can't even tell. It will not go through this. This is strong stuff. I think it's 5-ply with a hard plastic base. So this will protect this surface while I'm doing any kind of cutting with a razor blade or something like that. So anyway, back to the kit. The kit is really good. So far, going through it, looking at the wood selection, very good wood in there. There's only one piece that came damaged, and I think it'll be pretty easy to fix. There were some pieces that they had a curve built into them. It was a sheet of balsa that have a curve built into it, and one of them has a split in it. It broke somewhere in shipping or something like that. And I'm not going to fix it until I'm actually ready to put it onto the plane to find out if it would be easier to fix that after. Because if I were to run a bead of thin right now through it and seal it up, it might make it a little stiffer where it needs to flex. And maybe it'd be easier if I were to work that flex into as I was doing it on the plane. But anyhow, I will continue to do this, continue to add on. Next step is going to be the elevators, and they're going to be fun. They've got big counterweights that are on the edges here that need to be shaped. They're just simply big pieces of 1/4 inch, I think it's like 1/4 inch wood, that need to be sandwiched together, and then you spend your time rounding it and making it. It's the counterweights that go on an elevator to help balance out and make it to avoid flutter on the surface as it's deflected. Anyway, I just wanted to kind of get you up to date on where I'm at with this, and we'll continue working on it. But overall, so far, I'm pretty impressed. It's a pretty nice kit. It's like I said, I'm just kind of disappointed it's not going to be available to anybody else. If you see this and want to really build one, you're going to have to find one. So good luck to you on that. But anyways, I'll catch you next time. Have a great weekend, week, month, whatever you're doing. Have a great one, and let's do some building, all right?